Hi there, it's Lo again, aka Chachinoy. For today's video, I'm going to share with you how my kids got their permanent resident or PR here in Singapore after like, I think 4 or 5 times trying, and in the span after 10 years. So if you are in the same position as me and you would like to learn, then keep on watching. Hi there, it's Lu again, aka Chachinoy. Okay, for today, I would like to share with you my story time. Okay, brief background. Me and my hubby came here to Singapore on the year 2005. Okay, we are both Filipino citizens, and then on 2008 we decided to get married. We got married. We applied online at ROM, meaning Registry of Marriages. Is it correct? And then at that same year we traveled to the Philippines to get married for our proper ceremony, our religious ceremony, because we are both Catholics, and then at least all our family will be there. And then on that same 2008, we applied for our permanent resident, both of us, because this is really our goal, to stay here longer in Singapore, to get permanent resident. And then we got it like less than 6 months. Then I believe in 2009, that is where the recession started. Okay, if you have been in Singapore for quite some time, you know what happened in the recession. A lot of people got jobless and whatsoever. I was jobless as well for about 6 months. There's really literally no job outside, probably in sales thing only, but there's nothing to sell. Okay, nobody will buy as well. Anyway, so that is 2009, and I got my first baby on 2011. When I got my baby, we immediately applied for permanent resident for my first kid, right? And then when that's 2011, then 2012 we got our HDB. HDB means Housing Development Board, the low-cost housing here in Singapore. Then we got rejected for my first kid. So we got sad because we're like thinking, oh my gosh, it will be harder, because if you have been in Singapore for quite some time, it will be harder when the kid goes to primary school, meaning 6 years old and above, because here in Singapore, they prioritize the Singaporean citizens first, the permanent residents first, and the foreigners will be the last on whatever school that is left. That is the only schools that we are going to apply, and the school fees is different as well. I believe if you are Singapore citizen, I think they only pay $5 or $10 per child per month. And then for permanent resident, is about $200, $300 per month. And then for foreigner, I believe we paid that time about $600 per month. Okay, and then so that is the first time application. Then I believe every 2 years we apply for permanent resident. So anyways, in chronological order, so 2011, right, my kid got rejected. I think we even applied 2 times every 2 years. And then on 2016, my second kid was born. So we're hoping that we will get the PR for the kids. You know why? Because my second kid is a boy, and I do have this HDB of ours. However, we got rejected again. Yes, then I'm like thinking, wow, it's so hard. So I check out my other friends. Nobody is getting a PR. Everybody is being rejected. And then of course my heart is already kind of heavy, because there's a lot of people here in the Philippines like there's a lot of people here in Singapore that who are like that. Like the parents are PR but the kids are not. And then just a short description, just to let you know guys, the background of my kids, they are born and raised here in Singapore. Here in Singapore, if your kid, as a foreigner like me, have my baby, it's not automatic that he got permanent resident. It doesn't matter. He doesn't get any Singapore citizenship as well. Really, when I had my baby, all my babies, I had it at TMC, Thompson Medical Center. There is already an ICA officer there. Before you check out, you go to that officer, and then they're going to create that birth certificate, and that birth certificate really says there all caps that this person is not a Singapore citizen. Really, like, really in your face, okay? So they're going to give a temporary visit pass for that baby, I think for 30 or 60 days. That's why for foreigners like me, if I had a baby here in Singapore, I think after 1 or 2 weeks, when the baby is already okay, but fresh baby, okay, you need to go to an embassy. That's why I went to the Philippine embassy to have her photos taken and passport creation as well. You know why? Because of course we need all passport, because that is the identification of the baby. Once you have the passport, then I can go to ICA. It means Immigration and Checkpoints Authority, and then they can create that long-term pass. Okay, for us parents, because both of us are PR, I can only give my dependent, my kid or my parents, a long-term pass. But here in Singapore, it's called a long-term pass, right? But it's not that long. I can only give 1 year. So every year, we need to go to ICA and renew it, take photo, and my kids needs to change their IC. IC means identification card, okay? Every year, we need to go there just before it expires. So this is how a typical PR parents, then the kids are foreigner, they do this every year. And of course, when my first kid when she already became what do you call this, permanent primary one, she is still holding a long-term visit pass. That's why the primary school that we got is further down from our place. Actually, I remember that time we really applied near our place because they have a slot. However, when we really queued up for starting like 5 a.m. or 5:30 a.m. I remember that time my husband was second in queue, and then me, I was bringing my second kid to his school, and then I meet up with my husband, and then we register at that school when that school opened. I think it opened like 7 a.m. or 7:30 a.m. And then I remember the person who was handling us, she said, okay, it doesn't matter, mommy or daddy, if you are first in line or whatsoever. At least we know that you intend, that you want this school for your kid. However, the MOE, meaning Minister of Education, will still decide which school my kid will go. Okay? So what happened is that then we said, yes, we understand, and then we signed, and then after a few weeks or a month or two, we got the letter, and we're so happy that she got a government school, which is called a public school here in Singapore. You know why, guys? Because all of my friends who has the same batch as my eldest kid didn't get any school. So if you are a foreigner, you didn't get any government or public school here in Singapore, the only option that you have is IS, meaning international school, okay? And that is very expensive. Per month, I think it will range to 1,000 Singapore dollars per month for just the tuition fees and whatsoever. So we are already so lucky that we got it. But when I opened the letter, I got surprised. We didn't get the school that we applied. We got another school. I googled it, and it's quite a distance from our place. But we are already so thankful that we got considered, that my kid got school. That's why it's quite a distance. That's why we hired even a school bus. It's $200 for a round trip, and my kid needs to wake up 5 a.m. in the morning because she is the first or second person to be, to be picked up by the school bus. So anyway, so that is our sort of struggle, or what we have before PR, okay? So anyways, moving forward, 2016, I got my boy, my second kid. We applied again for PR. It got rejected again. And then 2018, I got my third kid. So I have a girl, boy, girl. So I'm like thinking, oh my gosh, it will be kind of harder for us to get a PR because we are just multiplying. Now I have 3 kids, and I don't know if, you know, Singapore would want to give my kids PR, but I do hope so, because for us, you can check our background, and of course everybody's honest here. Singapore is a very small country. They can check everything, okay? They would know if they are really born and raised here. They are what do you call this, we have a house here and we have a stable job whatsoever. But anyways, 2018 I got my 3rd kid, we applied again, and then 2020, right, COVID happened. So I'm like thinking, oh wow, what will happen to our kids? And then now our expenses is already multiplying. So our expenses are multiplying because now we have 3 kids. Can you just imagine how can my 2nd kid, my boy, apply for a primary school? Because my 1st and 2nd kid, their gap is like 5 years gap, and then my 2nd kid is my 2nd kid, which is a boy, is about to go to primary 1. But unfortunately, he cannot go to the primary school of my eldest, which is a girl. You know why? Because MOE has given us an all-girls school. Yes. So if it's an all-girls school, how can my boy go there, right? Because here in Singapore, there's a high chance if a student is already in a primary school, then it got a sibling, that sibling will like 90% or 99% will get that same school as well. So we cannot avail that because they have given us an all-girls school for my girl, and then my 2nd is a boy. So I'm like thinking, oh my gosh, we might pay a big amount of money for international school for my 2nd kid. I'm like, it's already expensive, and they will be in 2 different schools. So I'm like thinking, we try to apply again, because now I have a 3rd kid, which is a girl. But my 1st and the 3rd kid, my 1st and my 3rd kid, their gap is 7 years. So if my 3rd kid wanted to go to primary, I don't think so she can go already to that primary school of my 1st kid, because I know by right here in Singapore, the sibling thing, it will only work if the sibling is still inside the school, you know, is still enrolled in school. So I was already kind of anxious of our expenses, and I'm like thinking they will be on 3 different schools. So there was we heard as well that it's true, there's a lot of rumors. They said, probably there's quota already whatsoever. You will always hear this. Quota means, for example, QUOTA, the quota means here in Singapore is like, this is the kind of a rumored thing here in Singapore, meaning that, oh, okay, they only give PR to people, like, they want to be balanced here, like, specific number of Indians, Filipinos, like, Angmos, Caucasian, and Malaysian, whatsoever. This is what is rumored, okay? But just to let you know, guys, I know the PR requirement only here is like, I think 6 months only, continued work or continued stay here in Singapore. And then I think that's about it. If I'm not, because I haven't seen it so far yet, what is the requirement. Anyways, and then to pay $100 for registration. Please note, the last time they don't have that, but now they do have that. Okay, $100 per person if you want to apply for PR. But that is already, you know, a small bit of money. If you would know, in New Zealand, Canada, Australia, their PR application is super duper high, and then there's a lot of paperwork that needs to be done. Here, it's minimal paperwork, minimal registration fee. However, it's just so hard to get the PR. That's why it took us like 10 or 11 years. By right, 11 years to get the PR of my kids, okay, my 3 kids. Anyway, so moving forward, so this is also the rumor that they said, oh, you need to do what do you call this, volunteer work. Like, I'm like thinking, what kind of volunteer work? Like, donate your hair to the Cancer Society, you know, cook for those home for the aged, whatsoever, donate blood. Yeah, they always say that. But we never volunteer because we got busy about work and we have kids as well, like that. And then finally, when the COVID starts, right, because COVID is 2020 to 2022, we decided, probably I think 2021, we decided to volunteer. We volunteer at a nearby place here. I forgot the name, but I'm going to link it below. So we wake up like 5 a.m. in the morning, and then we help them cut potatoes or peel potatoes, and then cook, pack it, and then give it, then somebody else is going to give it to the home for the people who needs food, like that. And there is really a time sheet. Then you just give it to that person, and then they will ask you, oh, what time you're here? Then I will say, okay, 5 to 9 a.m. like that. So it's really a literal time sheet, and every week we are there. Because us, me and my husband, we are already volunteering in our association, in our group, in our church. So I'm like thinking, why not we volunteer to Singapore? And you know, we need to level up on what we have, because I don't know, we've been here for quite some time. How can that be that us parents, we are both PR, that have 3 kids born and raised here in Singapore, we even have a house here, and still they are not PR, okay? Can you just imagine, we have different expiry dates. Me and my husband, we got 5 years validity here in Singapore. All of my 3 kids have 1 year each validity. Different dates because, of course, they have a different birthday. I even have a nanny. Nanny means helper. She only got 2 years validity here. So can you just imagine the amount of calendar that I need to check, so that I need to make sure we have validity here in Singapore. And of course, all our passports as well. It needs to be valid. It needs to be so matching to the IC, because if not, how can our IC be renewed if our passport is expired, right? Because in the Philippines, all passports, the last time, has 5-year validity only. That is super duper fast, okay? But at least recently now, it's 10-year valid. So all of us adults have 10-year validity. But for all my kids, they only got 5-year validity. So anyways, that's it. So moving forward, we have been volunteering on that place. And then once we get sort of enough volunteered work, probably, if I'm not mistaken, we got more than 20 hours each, me and my husband. So what we do is, like, we go there 5 to 9 a.m. and then you can just go out. You can just go in and go out whenever you wanted, and then you get your timesheet signed, and then we insert it. We include it in our PR application. So my husband always applies for the PR, because our strategy is that who has the most higher salary, that's the person who's going to be the main sponsor, which is my husband. So he is the one applying for it. And then, yeah, he's been applying for every two years or 3 years. So that time, well, we also, that time when he is about to send that out, that one is during COVID, that 2021. Somebody knocked in our door. I think that was in a Sunday. And then, the guy said, "Hi there, I'm your new MP." MP means, I think, Ministry of Parliament, something like that. It's like a mayor or a governor here in Singapore. So he handles one place, okay? So he handles our place, and then he introduced himself. He really knocked door to door. I remember, I was like, oh my, I'm like thinking, oh my goodness. You see, the last time we don't have such a thing, or probably I'm not at home, but I experienced that one, because in my previous houses and here, we have never, you know, got visited by a politician. But anyways, that time, he visited us with his, what do you call this, colleagues and like that. And then he asked us, are you Singaporean? Then we said, oh no, we are not. And then I said, but me and my husband are both PR, but my kids are all foreigners. So they hold a long-term visit pass. So he said, so you see, I'm already thick-faced. I asked him, oh, MP, I said, can you please help us apply for PR for my kids? They are born and raised here. We own this house, but we have this, we keep on getting rejected by ICA. Then he said, why not apply for Singapore citizen? He told us. Then we said, oh, probably we'll do it the next time, because I was thinking that it will be harder to apply Singapore citizen when they are a foreigner right now, right? So we're thinking we do it in chronological order, like PR first, then citizen first, citizen next, whatsoever. And then he said, then he said, oh, okay. Then he said, next time I'll visit you again. Then he went already to another door, and then he knocked, and like that. Okay, a bit of commercial just to let you know, guys. Here in Singapore, if you got rejected, they will just mail it to you. So by SingPost, by Singapore Postal, and then you will just get it from your mailbox. It's just like a crosswise piece of paper. It says there, unfortunately, your permanent resident application is rejected, something like that. It will not say why or the reasons why you got rejected, but people still try to apply, right? But anyways, okay, fine. We already experienced that, like, I think 3 times. That's why we have a joke here. If you got a letter with no sender, or sometimes I think the sender says ICA, or sometimes it looks like a bank letter, then it's very thin, it means a rejection letter. Which we already received it like a couple of times. But anyway, so yes, that's about it. So he visited us. So I was thinking probably he can help us, because some people, some of my friends, they said, aside from volunteered work, you should ask also your MP to sponsor you, to write good things about you, whatsoever, so that to amp your PR application. So I was thinking about that, but he said, I'll talk to you next time, because he needs to go to other houses, and he is the new MP also here in our place. So how can he write good things about us when he doesn't know us, right? Correct? Because for volunteered work, it can be only for Singaporean and for PR. And of course, for example, if he made that letter, it will not be believable, right? Because he's just a new MP. How can it be that believable? So it makes sense. So anyway, so after 1 or 2 or 3 months passed by, I had a Sunday work. There was this one time I have a Sunday work. And then my family was here at home. And then that specific MP went door to door again. I think he was getting those those fridge magnet for that it has a name, a telephone number, email, on how to reach him, so that, you know, he is creating awareness that I'm your MP. Then you can reach me out if you need, you know, you need assistance or anything, right? And then he visited again, and then my husband talked to him. So this is what they have talked. So I was outside, right, at work. Then when I came back home, my husband told me this story. He said that, of course, my husband is also thick-faced, and we're like thinking we need really help how to amp this PR application. So he asked again that MP again how to help out. So that MP said, okay, just to help you out, he said that it's best to write a recommendation letter, but not from him. He said it's best to write a Singaporean citizen to write a recommendation letter for us who truly really knows us personally, so that it's that is our supporting document from all our other documents. It makes sense, right? Then he said, if ever that got rejected, then you can ask me afterwards. So this is what my husband thinks, like, oh, okay, so we'll do that. Okay, so what we did is, like, of course, we are thick-faced again. We asked our good neighbor to help us create a recommendation letter. She's an auntie, Chinese auntie, and she really truly knows us, because when we transferred here, my eldest, she is just 1 or 2 years old that time, and she saw us grow and she saw me like had a second and third kid. And her house is at the corner house, and I'm at the middle house, you see. So every time when they go out or come into the house, they can see our living room window. Then she likes our kids, and then sometimes she gives us food, give us stuff to my nanny or to me. And she's really, really good, and she helped us in a lot of stuff, and she always say hi like that. So I'm like thinking, who is the best person who can, you know, do this recommendation letter? So we thought of our auntie, but of course she doesn't know us like what we really are like that, and I don't want her to have a hard time writing, because you really need to write a letter. It's just like applying for a job. You need a recommendation letter. Some jobs need to have that. So I talked to my auntie and asked her if she is willing to sign, put her IC, and I told her about the PR situation of my kids, which she knew already the last time, because she also asked us what is our status here, like that. Then she got surprised. You know what, guys, just to let you know, not all Singaporeans know that, even that for foreigners who had a baby here, like born and raised here, they thought that that baby has Singapore citizen. No, really no. Actually it's because it's different per country, right? In other countries, like in the US, if you had your baby there, it's already automatic US citizen. And a lot of Filipinos do that. When they're pregnant, they go to US, okay? But here in Singapore, it doesn't. So that's why a lot of my Singapore friends are kind of like surprised that the law is like that, especially for us that has been here for quite some time, right? But it's just not the way it is, right? This is how they we apply for PR, and then it got rejected or what, and we don't know what is wrong or what needs to be done or what. But the rumor, they said, is that you need to be financially stable, of course, right? Because they don't want you to squat here. And then if you are in good status in your company, what else? And then if the kids are here for quite some time, I don't know. These are all rumored only, okay? Because me and my husband have a stable job, and then we've been here for quite some time. And if they do really a background check, we have been here for, yeah, in total right now, we have been here 18 years, you see, since we are, you know, boyfriend, girlfriend. Then we even got married. So our registration is there at the Registry of Marriages. Then all my kids are born and raised here. But even though we have a house, this is still not enough. So the only thing that we have done to boost it is like that recommendation letter. So if you're asking me, Lou, what is inside the recommendation letter? So my husband did the recommendation letter. He wrote it down in English. Not wrote it down, he typed it in English, and then I let my neighbor read it. If she agrees on it, and what, she can sign, because of course she is vouching that this family is good. Okay, the contents of the recommendation letter, you can cater it on your own. Like for us, we put there our heart and soul, everything. We just say there, we put there saying that we have been here in Singapore for quite some time. We love Singapore. We bought a house here when my kid was this age, and they are all born and raised here. They study their mother tongue Chinese language, and then my kids go, they are on, for example, D3, D2, badminton class, all the achievements that you have done, and the volunteer work and whatsoever. You need to put a letter that's saying that you really, really love Singapore and you are really staying here. This is what our recommendation letter contains, okay? And then there's a Singaporean who's vouching for it, saying that this is truly a good family, and then the kids will be an asset if they are really going to be a PR like that, especially for us, because both me and my husband are PR, then my kids are not yet. So after that one, I explained also to my auntie, and then she read it, and then she agrees with it because she saw us. Because like what I said, we are 10 years already here in this house, and she saw us from scratch, from my first kid to my second to my third kid, until we grow. Actually, some of our neighbors knows us because we are very few Filipino families here in our neighborhood. Sometimes they will say, oh, you only have one kid, right? Now you have 3 kids, they're all grown up. And then my heart like say, oh yes, auntie, like that. You know, those kind of neighbors that you don't know the name, but you know the face, right? And then, because we are, that's why my channel also, it's called Jachinoy, because it's Japanese, Chinese, and Pinoy. We are 3 mixed blood. I remember that time my nanny was pushing my toddler in a stroller, and then one, an elderly person saying, oh, she's so cute. She looks like mixed. So, what kind of mix is it? Then my nanny said, oh, she's mixed Japanese, Chinese, and Pinoy, Filipino. And then that elderly person said, oh, it's just like coffee, 3 in 1. So we laugh about it because 3 in 1 here is coffee, creamer, and sugar. You know those coffee packets. But anyways, then that's, so that is the, so moving forward, that is the main difference. Aside from the other PR application that we did, okay? So on this application, we added our volunteer work and that recommendation letter, and then finally, I got my kids, you know, PR approval. There's this one time I was so tired at work. I came home late, then I opened the mailbox, and then there's this one letter. It says there from the ICA, and the letter is thick. It's really thick. I'm like thinking, I know already in my heart that my kids got it, but I haven't opened it. So I went home and then I opened it. I even asked my eldest to film me so that I can, you know, see my reaction if, you know, to get this kind of thing, because we have been waiting for it for quite some time, and we have been applying for it for quite some time, and then finally we got it. Oh my gosh, it's just a very nice feeling that all my kids' name are there, and it says there that your permanent resident is approved, and then it got all the paperwork that we need to fill up. And then, wow, that was the best birthday gift ever, because it happened on July 2022, last year. So we got it, and then we scheduled registration in the ICA, because I think they need their thumbprint and their photo taking. So I even remembered it happened. My husband even scheduled that on my birthday. So we went to the ICA, and then they got their thumbprint. I think it's called biometrics, right? And their photo taken. So yes, finally now it's 2023, right? August, and then yeah, they're already 1 year PR. They are PR just like us, and then my kids will follow our PR. Okay, so whatever is our expiry date, that is their expiry date as well. Then for the kids, I do believe for 18 years old and below, because the PR here is a blue card, they will not have a physical card, okay? They will only have a piece of paper. Actually, it's online, and then I just print it. It's called the re-entry permit. So this is a permit saying that they can come here in Singapore within 5 years to study, to live here, whatsoever. So when we traveled overseas like that, that is the only thing that we print out, because it has the barcode, okay? Then of course their passport when you travel, you see. So yes, that's about it. Sorry, because I just remembered about it, I got emotional. So when we got our the PR of my kids, we are just so happy. And then, you know what, when I got the PR, the next day I called up the school. You know why? Because my second kid, my boy, is an upcoming P1 student, okay? But because here they have a schedule to when you are registering. For example, next year, 2024, if you want your kid to become to apply for a P1 in a government school for next year, this year you need to apply already. There's only a schedule that they will allow you to apply. So I applied in the foreigner side, okay, at the MOE. Then finally, when we got the PR of my kids, I called MOE saying, oh, my kid already got his PR. How can I change from foreigner to PR status? So she taught me how to do it, and then finally we got transferred from foreigner to PR status, so that we have higher chance of getting the schools that we want, because I want it nearby here, because we have a good primary school nearby here, at least walking distance only. And finally he got it, and then we're just so happy because at least my boy got it, right? So finally he's now P1, okay? He's P1, and then my youngest is at K1, means kinder 1. So because it so that if my K1 kid will be going to primary school in a couple of years, at least she can go to that school, because that school is a mixed school, okay? Then at least they will be sibling, and they will be nearby in our place. But right now all my 3 kids are in different school, you see. So my first kid, my eldest, is already P6 now. It's in all girls school. Then my second kid, it's a boy, he's in P1 nearby here. And then my K1 kid is another school. So of course the dream, they will be all in the same school, and then yeah, it will be near to our place. And then you can really see the expenses as well, not so high anymore, because the last time they're like kind of $600 per person. Now for PR, I believe we do only pay $200 per person, and at least more choices of the school, because for foreigners you will only have, you know, the leftover schools, the ones that are not yet full, because here in Singapore is very strict. If they can only have 50 students in one class, they will only do that only. Not unlike in the Philippines, like if the person would like to study, even though you got 80 in one classroom, they will do it. Here they're very strict. They have a quota, they have a maximum to follow. So yes, I think, yeah, that's about it. That's my story on how my kids got their PR. So for you who are watching this, if you have the same experience like me, or you're thinking, when will I get the PR of my kids, or I myself as an adult, when will I get PR? The only thing that I can tell you guys is just try and try, really, because what more, we don't have any more what I call this option. The government will not tell us what's wrong with your application, why you don't get it, why you got it, or like that, right? It's just that we just apply and then see what will happen. We love Singapore so much, and then we are here to stay, okay? And then, of course, especially me and my husband, we're working here. And then my kids are born and raised here. Their mother tongue is even Chinese. And then, yeah, we are here. That's why we have a house also. That's why we are the kind of permanent resident that, of course, I take for myself that we deserve it, okay? But of course, we need to convince ICA, right? If we really do deserve it. So if you're asking me, Lou, any tips? So, okay, my tip is like, probably you can create a recommendation letter, just like us, because that one works for us. And then make sure the job status that you have is continuous. Are you growing on that company? And then are your salary, or your, for example, investments, your money, are you bringing money here in this country, right? Because we have a joke saying like, oh, what if your money you always put it in outside of the country? Then why would they give you PR, right? This is all joke and rumor. I don't know if it's really true, right? And then there's also rumor, it's so hard to get a PR for a single person, because they might think that you will just get PR and then get your CPF. CPF means Central Provident Fund. It's just similar as SSS. in the Philippines, and then you will get that money, and then you go back to that country or migrate to another country. I don't know also what's their thing, but what I can tell you guys, during that 2020, 2021, 2022, that COVID thing, a lot of my friends got their PR approved, especially the same status like us. Like, for example, the parents are both PR for quite some time. Then they got their kids born and raised here, and then finally they got it. You know why? Because I saw a lot of Facebook posts already from my friends who got PR status already, like the whole family or half of the family, stuff like that. So we're thinking, okay, this is a rumored as again, this is assumed as well, saying I'm just saying that probably the quota, there's again quota for it for foreigners. Okay, yes, that's about it. I don't know what kind of advice I can tell you, but yeah, just recommendation. Probably do volunteer work. And for me, guys, I don't recommend going out there and paying somebody to help you out on your PR, because just applying for PR here in Singapore is really easy, guys. Really, I don't see the point why you are paying thousands of dollars to get somebody to apply for you for PR or give you advice like that, because I don't think so there's a guarantee also for that one. But anyways, I'm just telling you what my thoughts about it, because for me, this thing worked. Because I'm like thinking, if we didn't give up on trying, probably I should have go to an agency or whatsoever, right? But because I know that we can do it, and then we just try on our own, that's why we got it. So probably Singapore, the ICA saw something from us. But just to let you know, guys, that during that COVID period, the rumor is like a lot of foreigners lost their jobs, okay, during COVID. That's why a lot of people get out of Singapore, gave up their PR like that, because how can you stay here if there's no job, right? And then finally, probably this is just a rumor, okay, the quota freed up. That's why they need people again to come here and, you know, apply for PR, so that you know, it will there's already free up space for that. And then finally, if we are PR, you know, we will apply for Singapore citizen, okay, because that is the next step if we want to be a Singapore citizen. So I think, yeah, that's about it. That is our journey. That's how my kids got their PR. So if you are on my same predicament as well, same situation, do not lose hope. Of course, it needs divine intervention, but it needs your hard work as well. Hard work, like, for example, if you have been in that company for quite some time, probably that company can give you, your employer can give you a recommendation letter. And best, if you are not sort of job hopping, at least you are excelling, or for example, being promoted, especially if your salary from this one, right? Because at the end of the day, I really do think, from my point of view, I really do think it's still the money-wise, okay? The financial thing. If you are capable to have this kind of family, to have this kind of life here in Singapore, and of course, your status, okay? Here in Singapore, they always check like, oh, are you worth it to be, you know, to be, what do you call this, to be a PR, to be a Singaporean. I heard, I don't know if it's true, I heard in the rumors, like, if there's a businessman who invested here $1 million or a couple $1 million, he get automatic PR or automatic citizenship. I think automatic PR. I don't know if that is true, but those are all rumors. But just to let you know, guys, just applying for PR is so easy. You can just check on the requirements. But the hardest part is how to get approved. This one, there is no sure ball way, okay? Because for us, we tried already several times, and we got it after 11 years. Yeah, 11 years, yeah. For me, just apply and probably get volunteer work, get recommendation. Right? So yes, I think that's about it. That's my sharing about how my kids got PR. So So I would like to know as well, guys. Please comment below how you got your PR, or if you have the same predicament as mine, like the parents are PR but the kids have been not PR for quite some time. You let me know how you got your PR. If you have some advice on how to get PR in Singapore, yes. So yes, I think that's about it. I hope this is inspiring on what I said. And then this one in real life, it happened to us, and now at least they are all in good schools, and then and at least our finances are kind of controlled, because it will be so hard for me if they go to international schools. And then we love here in Singapore. It's so obvious. That's why we are here for quite some time. That's why we have our house here. That's why we like it here so much as a thing. That's why we applied for PR, and until we tried and we tried. Actually, we talked about it with my husband. If we didn't get it that time, we're still going to apply for it. We're not the kind of people that we will try to apply in other countries to migrate and like that. You know why we like Singapore so much? Because it's nearer to my country in the Philippines. It's like 3.5 hours flight only to Manila. It's nearer to our parents. So at least they can visit us, or we visit them, and then at least we can still attend some family gatherings whatsoever. And we like also the weather here, even though it's so humid, but we like it here. We don't need to wear coats or winter or what, but it will be better if we have spring, right? But anyways, yes, I think that's about it. If you like this kind of, you know, talking video or anything Singapore life, please like and subscribe, and click the bell button beside the subscribe button so you'll be notified whenever I upload new stuff from your gadgets. I see you next time on my next video. Bye-bye!